Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's talk about Rishi Kashyap and the science of 13 wives or consorts of Rishi Kashyap. Prime objective of everyone's life should be a perfect physical health, free from diseases, perfect emotional stability, wealth, wisdom, happiness, everything is what every human being is required. And unfortunately, reason for failure, we don't even have a disease-free life. Why? Because of ignorance of understanding of divine mathematics, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology, or anything to do with ourselves. Ignorance is the root, and inertia to know also is difficult. Now, one thing which I make it very clear, all the languages by and large, whichever may be, including Sanskrit, Tamil, Hindi, English, Germany, whatever it is, all the deficient. Only two ways which are clear is a mathematical design, which is divine design, not man-made concepts, and the symbolic representation of the mathematics, as you can see in this particular picture of Ganit Vidya, the divine mathematics. 22 by 21 to the power of 10.344 equivalent to 1.6180 is seen in the picture, and also the solar system right from top to the bottom is seen in these two concepts alone. And as a result, a translation of this into any language is much easier because there is no ambiguity. Now, keeping in mind, let's start with the mythology, which other people think mythology, and I believe there is nothing mythology. It is our failure to understand the concept that we convert into mythology. To the best of my knowledge, what I understand from Ved, Upanishads and scriptures of Sanatana Dharma written in Sanskrit by and large are free from ambiguity, and they are not mythology. They are full of science, filled with mathematics. Different aspects of mathematics are explained, and I go by that wisdom. So now King Daksha is a king in Vedas, particularly Rig Veda. He is the Prajapati, lord of the public, of the universe itself. Very interesting. And he is shown to have 16 daughters or 60 daughters, and Mahabharata also 24. There is not number very clear. And I have no problem with 16, but I have an understanding that he has 64 daughters, because I understand there are 64 arts and sciences, and each daughter represented different aspect itself. So I go by my perception that there should be 64 daughters, not 16 or 60 or 24 or otherwise. Now you can see the Rishi sage Kashyap is one of the 7 sages. He is one of the 7 sages of sons of Lord Brahma. It is said Lord Brahma created 7 sons, and these 7 rishis are those 7 sons of him who are wise, intelligent Brahmins, because Brahma is Brahman. He understands the divine consciousness from formless to sakar to nirgun to everything completely. So all the sages should have the divine mathematics because it's created by divine mathematics as Brahma itself. So I clearly believe that Rishi Kashyap is one of the 7 sons of Lord Brahma who created the universe, and in the process these 7 rishis represent that beauty of mathematics as such. I go by mathematics. Now, consorts of Rishi Kashyap. 13 daughters of King Daksha were married to Rishi Kashyap. Now, it's interesting mathematics that only 13. In the Vishnu Purana, Kashyap marries 13 daughters of King Daksha: Aditi, Diti, Kadru, Dhanu, Rishta, Surasha, Surabhi, Vinita, Tamra, Ira, Vishwa and Muni. These are the 13 names which are clear in Vishnu Purana. In Mahabharata, names of these 13 wives are Aditi, Diti, Kala, Janyasu, Dhanu, Sinita, Krodha, Pritha, Vishwa, Vinita, Kapila and Mani. I do not want to go to the different names as such. So there are the 13 concepts which is and this is a fact. But there are 2 things which stand on in my name, and I am more particular about that because that is what Vedas and Upanishad talk about it. One is Aditi, another is Diti. Aditi is, according to Rig Veda, is the mother and daughter of Daksha, and in Upanishads, Aditi is the mother and daughter of Aditya, and that is an interesting thing which I have explained. So Aditi is helium-4, individual indwelling human soul as such, and Diti is the second wife, and the children produced by Diti are supposed to be the one who have a lower consciousness, and children born of Aditi are the one have higher consciousness. So let me bring only to these two. Aditis have 7 children of higher consciousness. Diti has 6 children of reptilian brain. As such is the only thing which I am concerned about it. I am not worried about remaining 11 concepts. Now we are going to see the picture of family of Maharishi Kashyap as such. There are 13 wives divided into 6 wives and 7 wives. You see Kashyap sitting and standing in the middle. Left side you can see 6 and right side you can see 7. The first 6 represent reptilian brain. A Tantra Satchakra Nirupana talks about it. Now coming to spirituality of Tantra Vidya itself. There are 6 chakras, not 7 chakras. I am very clear. That is what Satchakra Nirupana talks about. 6, not 7. Second, 7 represent the divine Tantra Vidya, or rather the higher consciousness of Aditi. First, we can call the children of Diti, lower consciousness, the son of Aditi, the higher consciousness, in which the indwelling soul is awakened. That person would be one in tune with universal consciousness. The one who is not awakened, who is like any other common man, who is bonded with the material world as such. But Aditi children are beyond the material world to the complexion, and the one who understands Aditi completely and Diti completely and Rishi Kashyap completely, they are represent the 14 levels of consciousness, and they are the perfect one for the entire world as such. That's the concept which I am talking about in divine mathematics. Now the computer lower septilian brain is a precise concentration vehicle. In this picture you can see only 6 chakras, not 7 chakras. Now I am bringing the book Sat Chakra Nirupana, which according to me is the most authentic ancient Indian book in Sanskrit about physical human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry and psychology, which we should know. The very first verse makes it very clear that first blissful sprout of realization of Brahman is through the 6 rising process of 6 chakras of the human body. It talks of only 6, not more than 6, and only after 6 are totally integrated, the sprout of realization of Brahman starts only after that. And I am making it very clear. Same thing Patanjali Yoga Sutra also says, stop the fluctuation mind, only then you get connected with self. That means Aditi will realize only after 6 are understood, and that is what I am talking about. Now let's understand the 6 chakras as such, which Satchakra Nirupana talks about it, and what Akhand Sutra I talk about it. Now Mooladhara chakra is the lowest cancer, is the bottom, and it has got phonetic sound is lam, and there are 4 aksharas of Sanskrit language involved in that. You can see this picture is Satchakra Nirupana. I have converted the whole thing in Akhand symbol as a 4 letters and the 4 aksharas as same thing. There is no difference, and this is where earth element comes to play a role, and same thing which is given in Satchakra is beautifully translated into mathematical design in this particular picture. Now come to the second chakra, Swadhisthana chakra. The ancient picture, the sound is warm, and there are 6 letters. First are 4 letters, there are 6 letters. That is lam, this is warm. Now the same thing which I have made into the consider is 6 petals, and you can see it very, very clearly as such. Now comes the third is the Nabhi Chakra. The ancient scripture is a fire triangle. The first one was solid, water, and now fire. Third element of bhutas. 10 flowers and 10 letters, and the word is Ram. Lam, Vam, Ram. 4, 6, 10. You see the divine mathematics, and that is what Divyanki is all about. Now, same thing I have converted into a Khand picture is 10. The fire triangle element is as such in this particular thing, makes the job. How beautiful was Satchakra Nirupana, how scientifically I can correlate with the human body. Muladhara chakra is imperial, and the sacrum is Swadhisthana, and adrenal gland is Nabhi chakra. Is becoming very clear, and that with science and spirituality coming as one, and that's what knowledge which we need to make optimum use to become perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, and human being. Now there comes to question of fourth level of Anahata chakra. The ancient chakra is air. Started earth, water, fire, now Vayu, and this is a 12 pattern, and that is seed is Yam, and this is very clear as a phonetic sound, and this is where Sanskrit letters are drawn. I have converted that into a new picture of Vayu. You can see Ansi Mantra Vidya, Bhakti Yoga, all connected with that. It's a same thing representation in a much better way, where 1, 3, 6, 12, 24, 48 is the Mantra Vidya moves on, and there is much more into this. An entire Mantra Vidya or Bhakti Yoga is connected with the heart alone, and they are connected with Vishnu also. Now Vishuddhi is the fifth one, which I call it with Akash Kosh, ether, a quintessence, and there are 16 petals, and the word is Hamsa, and you can 16 walls you can see. This is again a very interesting part, how beautifully the Sanskrit was designed, and how you can experience that with the different parts of the body who are associated with this particular concept as such. So there is a parallel government, a bridge between spirituality and science emerging very strongly. Same thing which I have converted into thyroid gland and 16. And these 16 spaces I make it very clear, although there are 7 cervical vertebrae, but there are 8 pairs of cervical nerves. So this is what makes things arise, and that is where 16 comes up. Now you see a divine 6, 4, 6, 10 and 16 is same sequence. Let's forget about 12. Now comes the question. Ajna Chakra is very clear. The ancient script is shielding and besetting, and there are 2 petals only which are Hum and Sham, with Om as such is written, and this is very clear as far as Sat Chakra Nirupana is concerned. But I have gone further to modify that it is not 2 chakras, it is 28 chakras. This is where is difference, because they talk to only 2, but I am talking about 28, and because I am associating this with asteroid belt, and the asteroid belt distance from the sun to asteroid belt divided by 15 million is equivalent to 28. That means 420 million kilometer is the distance with sun and asteroid belt, divided by 15 is equal to 25. Now this is again divine mathematics which I have added in the process to understand, and they are associated with pituitary gland as such, and I think that makes interesting things going. Okay, you also should be open to things, not go by the design what others have given. Now you and I have gone one step further to understand in the light of the modern education, mathematics, because modern mathematics concept equipments are fantastic, but only thing concepts given in mathematics as the world follows is man-made deficient, and that is what I'm saying, where the divine mathematics by the nature which is found in ancient Indian scriptures is 1,000 times better. I'm trying to integrate and make it to take it to Divyak one by one thereafter. Now the same thing 52 letter akshara is connected with this particular thing, but you can see the picture is very clear about reptilian brain connected with autonomic nervous system and also endocrine system. But I am not bringing endocrine system, I am only talking about autonomic nervous system of sympathetic and parasympathetic. You can see the cranial parasympathetic on top, then sympathetic and sacral parasympathetic. All the full three up to together are the one which forms reptilian brain, right from brainstem to spinal cord. The complete picture which takes care of the homeostasis is what this is, and that has got 52 levels, and same thing is found in Satchakra Nirupana as such, and I think that makes a bridge. So what was written, other thing, once you experience, then only you can make, unless until these 6 centers are very clear within you, you cannot have a perfect health, because these are designed for you to take care of all things by themselves. You will never need a medicine, other thing, because the whole system is designed to automatically take care of anything, provided you understand the cause and do the work accordingly. When we are going against the human nature, we are going to suffer. Whereas reptilians, by and large, they only take what is required, they do not take what is not required. Unfortunately, human beings are consuming things which are absolutely not required for human beings. We have become non-vegetarian, we become alcoholic, we drugs, medicines, other things. We are taking everything which is not as required. We don't even know the herbal side. We don't know what is designed for us. Once we understand that, then we can. And I can tell you, as an individual, I've come to realize my body tells me what I should take and what I should not take. I listen to that from within, and that makes me completely perfect. At this age, I'm much better than when I was younger. Now come to the question of the higher brain and Om. You can see the 7 chakras, but you see the chakra on top is written Om, and that is the picture. Reminds me, I made it in 1974, more than 50 years ago, because that is where culmination comes up, and that is where Mandukya Upanishad is. That is where I realized that whole concept of 22 by 21 is there in Om itself. And it's a precise characteristic. We are going to look at it now. Second, having understood the lower brain of 6 centers of consciousness associated with Diti, lower consciousness. I'm not, and I will not say demons are bad or lower consciousness bad, because it's absolutely essential to be perfect. Without that, higher senses not at all possible. This is again something which I'm making it clear. Spirituality alone cannot give you the wisdom. You got to take care of the physical health, emotional health, mental health, spiritual health completely. Only then you can go to the higher level as an integrated part, and that is what Akhandata is all about. It is not that body is perishable, so ignore it. No way. 6 are important. You got to be perfect human being, physically healthy, wealthy, wise. Only then you can be intelligent enough to be in tune with that case. So 6 were very important. Diti is important. Demons are important. Lower consciousness, reptilian is important. Everything is perfect. Design is perfect. Now going to the 7th stage, we make it to much higher levels of consciousness. Now let me tell you, this is the 7 comes to play role. As I told you, the integrated nervous system is made of 7 parts, and this is a Akhand picture which is on top is 7. And I have shown that there is a part of the nervous system which nobody talks about. So I'm completely filling up those missing links so that world understand perfection to the complete. There is nothing left to be untouched. If there's something which I have not covered, people can bring it to mind. We can add it. But I've tried my level best to be totally integrated as such. Now come to the question of what is the beauty of 7. Now I am bringing a divine mathematics into the picture. As the lower consciousness is concentrated on Tantra, this is higher Tantra. So I am seeing the solar system as such. And to bring that consciousness, I am trying to bring uniformity into knowledge, keeping east, west, north, south, everything together where there is a concurrence. I can tell you 7 days. There is international identical divine nature of 7 days of the week, where everyone agrees these are the only 7 days, and that is what I am talking about, 7 higher levels of consciousness which make my brain to be in tune with the solar system itself. And now let's discuss why this and how it is and what is important in that process. Now the question is the 7th thing which is very clear. You have Monday, you have Tuesday, you have Wednesday, you have Thursday, you have Friday, you have Saturday, and you have Sunday. All the 7 heavenly bodies have been shown very clearly, and we are going to see each one as we move on. And this picture also I show there are 12 Rashis, and with the same 7 planets are heavenly bodies, 7 Earth, where Sun and Moon have got only one Rashi. Others have got 2 Rashis, there are 12. They are also divided into male, female, hermaphrodite, and also the mind and consciousness, which I have already spoken, is represented very clearly in this. Now we go on to understand these 7 as such to realize this is the higher consciousness. No, unless until we realize the importance of these 7 heavenly bodies, why there is uniformity, only then we can be spiritual. So for spirituality, this is a basic thing for anybody and everybody. You don't have to go deep into spirituality, the kind which I have gone through. Now let's say the sun, Surya, has got 7 horses. That means this 7 thing is connected with Surya, sun, and sun's 7 colors, Vivgya, rainbow, and all things are there. I have already spoken, but this is the secret of divine mathematics is there, and we are going to see now in 7 days how things move on. Now come to the question of sun. We start with the Sunday, and that is sun, and that is presiding deity of the solar system. Solar system gets all its energy from sun. All the 6 heavenly bodies or other bodies have come out of sun alone. So that is something which is, anyone who follows sun, understands solar, and becomes a student of sun itself can be the greatest sage. And no wonder Maharishi Yajnavalkya, me, or for that matter, entire world have realized that it is sun because of which we are there, otherwise we will not be there. I think that is the reality as far as this one is concerned. This is my Guru, and all my life is based on the life of sun. So discipline things and learn to give and things, and be a Karma Yogi, be the Gyan Yogi, Vigyan Yogi, Pragyan Yogi, everything comes to me only from sun. Sun is the easiest thing for me to see every day. I get up before sun rises, I welcome the sun, I follow the Gayatri Mantra, I do everything with sun is associated with. And that has made me realize the beauty of Veds, Upanishads and other scriptures, because sun gives you the knowledge, and the same knowledge is there in those books as such. So translating those Sanskrit into other languages is easy because that is the divine mathematics. Now come to the question of second day is a Monday, and it is the moon and the mind, and make it very clear. Monday is the moon, is the mind, and it is associated with Manipura chakra. I make it very clear, this is something which I have not spoken in the 6 chakras. But mind is the second thing which is with Manipura chakra, upper abdomen, associated with digestive system. That is second day. And you can see the moon fluctuating nature, and also in the process I have also shown one symbol which came from Ayodhya's dug up part. Had a beautiful thing 1, 7, 13 and 29, and I think that's the beauty of sun, moon and earth and the entire universe in one symbolic was phenomenal. That's second. Now the comes to the third one is a Tuesday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday is associated with Mars, another planet in solar system, and it is a male in concept, it is not a female or hermaphrodite, whereas mind, source, and this is male. Then third is a Wednesday. There's a Mercury which is very close to the sun. After sun, the first thing which comes is Mercury, that is neutral. It has neither male nor a female. It's a neutral, like a hermaphrodite. It can be male or female, other thing, and I very clearly, it's the light itself is like that process. I think Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 we have covered. Now come to the Thursday is a Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet after Mars, and in between Mars and Jupiter is the asteroid belt, which I associated with Ketu. I'm not talking about here, but let's put it at later stage. But Jupiter is supposed to be intelligence and science and super. Let's make it very clear. It is beyond the lower heavenly planets. Right up to Mars is a lower. But after that is asteroid belt, that is a division, and then comes the Jupiter, which is a science, which is the mathematics of divine nature, which even ancient scriptures talk about it. He is intelligent with intelligence, buddhi, and otherwise. Now come to the Friday. Is the Venus, which is the planet between Mercury and Earth itself, and it's a female planet, and that's the reason it is associated with Swadhisthana Chakra. Very clear. Swadhisthana Chakra is that it's a female. So you have male, you have female, you have neutral as such. You see how beautiful is this. Then comes to the question of Saturn is a wisdom. So once you go beyond the Jupiter to higher level, that is where spirituality to science to the wisdom to impeccable wisdom comes only Saturn. And why Saturn is very important is it's the only planet which goes around the sun for 30 years. Once in 30 years it completes the circle around the sun, and it has got a number of planets. Our particular chakra is 96. Jupiter has got 52, where asteroid belt our ajna has 28. So now we are moving on that. So that way is called the wisdom. So you have seen the source from which it comes, the source which is mind, source which is male, source which is female, source which is neutral, source which is science, source which is wisdom, is very clear within 7. How beautiful is the knowledge concept in this, and that is the kind of knowledge which I want the world to realize. Now, summing up that, now a question comes to my mind. I should come to everybody's mind. Why there is uniformity about 7 days and 7 planets throughout the world identical? Because it has been very clearly seen that these are the only 7 heavenly bodies which everyone around the world can easily see without any equipment. With the 5 normal senses, you can see the sun moving, you can see moon moving, you can see Mars, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, all that moves, and there is no, and there is a consistent, as a result all the 7 days are associated only with that, because this is what everybody has observed with the clean eyes itself by everybody. 5 normal senses through the people have seen. So there is a uniformity that a common man can understand, and that is what it is. Now we are going to go further. The spiritual science experience which I have experienced. Now coming to the higher brain. I have talked about the lower brain which I have experienced, higher brain which I have experienced, and now I am going to show you the electromagnetic power spectrum analysis of mind and common man and me, how I have improved as a realization of the spiritual science as such. Now come to the question. I am making one thing very, very clear. Most evolved brain in the world is a human brain. But unfortunately, no neuroscientist of the world knows even the functions of the outer 3 layers of the neocortex, which I have seen here. Nobody knows. That is unfortunate. Nobody is able to make optimum use of human brain. Even what is written by the neuroscientists is a man with eyes closed, mind at rest, produces 10.5 hertz alpha frequency for posterior brain. Rest of brain does not have it. That's the knowledge which is given, and that is a defective knowledge. Whereas I have experienced the 6 within me, integration within me, my soul within the ventricles. As a result, there is an integration of the lower consciousness and higher consciousness within me. And as a result, for what the results I have produced for my PhD work is what I am going to show you now hereafter. This particular picture, the main subject is me. The control subject are like every other human being. Now you can see the picture in up and down are the 2 representations done for my PhD work. They are both identical. Only difference is the power in my case is almost 3 times the power found in other subjects. That's the reality. but you're going to see a change now. Now, when I open the eyes, you can see a tremendous change, particularly you say Samadhi stage, the last one. You can see alpha frequency high and also total power. There is a focus only with alpha and total power very, very high with open eyes, but you see down. No one could do bring alpha frequency with eyes open. That is what I mean, because they don't even have the concentration of the 6 chakras, lower chakras completely, with the question of 7 chakras, with the concentration of complete human consciousness is missing. This was one thing which stands me out, and I want, that is a science. If I can, as a simple person can do it, every human being can be, and that can be done only by being a perfect Brahman, pure vegetarian, hardworking, intellectual, otherwise, analyzing the effects and then finding things. And I make it very clear. I am a Karma Yogi, I am a Gyan Yogi, I am a Vigyan Yogi, I am a Pragyan Yogi. I find faults in other things since childhood, and as a result, I find all the knowledge the world has got today, whether it's mathematics, physics, chemistry, and medical sciences, is defective, defective, defective. Having rectified that, and all the 64 parts of my body, which can be called the daughters of Daksha, are completely ignorant. In all the 64 arts, I can produce alpha frequency of 8 hertz. You are going to see as such. Now, in this particular picture, with eyes closed at a later date, I produce 8.4 throughout the brain. You can see in this picture clearly. Alpha spindles, I have 8 points throughout the brain with eyes closed. But very moment I opened, the frequency from 8.5 came to 8 hertz, and that was uniform, and the power was very high, much more than you can even dream of. And thanks to power spectrum analysis and mathematical design, and also the EEG equipment and MRI, fMRI, etc., I've got myself thoroughly investigated and find it is, we see, with the using this we can be a perfect human being. Having done that, I think we have come to the stage that if I can do it, everybody can do it. Now I am trying to make easy things for everybody to rectify the defects in mathematics, which is man-made concept, to divine mathematics of Divyank, and also talk with the perfect anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology of human being, and teach perfect physics, chemistry, and medical sciences, so that the knowledge for every child is same. I want this uniform knowledge for every child, irrespective whether it comes from poor background, rich background. It should be uniformly throughout, and I'm sure over a period, as I move more and more people become clear. And I know I started the journey in 1991. It's almost 30 years plus, and in the process come to very, and I know another 5 or 10 years time, as power spectrum goes up, become better, and our internet also becomes more powerful, and artificial also becomes the next day. We have come up to 5th generation. Once you go to 10th generation, then things will become very clear. This is the perfect will stand appearing, because everything takes time to this. Once that comes, that should become the knowledge for the entire world as such. That is what it is, and that is the wisdom of Maharishi Kashyap, who is one of the 7 sons. All the 7 things put together, only divine mathematics can rectify all the defects, and that's it. And that is what is finally in this. We'll not talk, I think it's enough for the day, but my point is very clear. That's the divine mathematics which on every child, every teacher, every student, every researcher, every publisher throughout the world talks of only one thing, not 2 things, no confusion at all. And Divyan can rectify that problem, and these things can rectify. I am doing that. Now I expect people to understand and move on with that. People who believe it can, it's going to make them perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy, and very enlightened, educated, and empowered people to bring the light to the world, not through fights and argument, disagreements, but with the unity in diversity of the perfection by and large. That is the concept with which I am moving. I think that's enough for the time being. Thank you very much.